Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Ryan, and today I'm joined by
Nerdarchy Dave.
Nathan Nerdarch.
And today we're going to discuss the best counters to a heavy-handed dungeon master.
Jump down the description below where you can find Nerdarchy, the newsletter, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy. But while you're down there, you can see the original post for this GM 911, which is more like a player 911. He snuck it by us. So you're so sneaky, woulda. And it is for woulda. But hey, you guys, maybe you have something you want us to answer in your game. Nerdarchy@gmail.com. GM911 in the description. You can also send video requests there. So what is in a game? It's a new group, new players. I think there's a DM, 3 players, so it's a small group. And it sounds like they played in more than one campaign so far, and the DM is kind of repetitive in his MO at any rate. So, big arcing campaign, kind of railroady, is what he's saying. Generally picks one of the player characters to be the spotlighted character of like the star in a movie. Also picks the protagonist from the very beginning as well, that the players they know that this is the guy they're going to go up against. Even he gives us the one example of, he shows up when they're level 1, beats the snot out of the party, leaves them for nearly dead, walks away laughing into the sunset, so they know this guy's going to be the problem.
Twisting his mustache on his way out.
At the same time, he customizes the campaigns a lot, creating a campaign world where a lot of player options that are in the regular Watts material isn't available to the players. So he wants to know what he should do. He likes the guy. He's no problems with the DM himself, but he's kind of wondering if he should stay in this game, find a new group. What are our suggestions? Now, I know we've covered this one before, Mike Gould, in various forms, but some people are new to the channel.
Yeah.
Yes. Lots of people, actually.
Yeah. So there's the other players tend to agree on this point. So, well, you don't really have to find a new group. There's already 2 other people that at least have your same level of thinking. But there's a few options you could do. Like one of the other 2 people or yourself could decide to take up the mantle of dungeon mastering and run a campaign like you would like to play. And maybe by leading through by example to this dungeon master, you can show like how much fun it is when you actually have choice and options and agency in the game.
Well, and also too, when one of you guys run that game, do a session 0. Yeah. So everyone can have input into the campaign and build the world that they're going to play in together. I mean, the players don't need to build every aspect of it, but by giving them some say, they're going to have a lot more buy-in.
And Ryan, you had brought us something earlier about basically making the shield the rest of the party aspect, where you take the narrative character that can't die.
Oh, no. So I would basically, so what I mentioned about being on railroads. Well, ride that railroad, like throw as much coal into the fire as you possibly can and ride that engine car into a brick wall. So what you do is you intentionally with the other players put the narrative hero of the campaign in harm's way. Like it's very likely that they're going to die in this situation, and just see how much plot immunity the dungeon master gives them, right? And like you get to a certain point where it'd be absurd and you can really call bullshit of like how this all works. Or the hero dies as the dice foretell, and I guess your campaign has to continue on like a regular ass Dungeons and Dragons campaign where everyone has equal weight.
I will put a slight disclaimer out there. That is a little bit of a dickish way to go.
It's a passive-aggressive way to do it, but I mean, so is limiting of your options with the Dungeon Master.
And also, too, like, have you guys talked to your GM? Like, that's the other thing. Like, and that's actually the first go-to, I think. And unless, you have and it hasn't worked, or for whatever reason you don't feel like you can approach this GM, then, someone else GMing is probably a better idea just to lead by example. But like the first go-to should always be like, hey, like there's some things that we don't like. Is there any wiggle room with this?
Yeah, I mean, by the way this is laid out, this sounds like a dungeon master who is very much into the control freak end of dungeon mastering. But you can see where the conversation might get you.
So, but sometimes people don't realize what they're doing.
Yeah.
And when you point it out to them, they can have enough self-introspection to go, oh, okay, maybe I am, and maybe they'll give some here or there, but you won't know until you ask.
Yeah, and if they're a big sci-fi fantasy novel fan, and I mean maybe they're recreating a world that they've made either themselves or they've read about, and they're like, oh, I really like these aspects, but there's no wizards, so whatever the case may be, that's unique to this. to this dungeon master's groove, then seeing another player take the dungeon master role might be helpful. But also, like, maybe he'll start to consider, oh yeah, I do kind of make it seem like a novel, and I didn't even recognize it, because that's all he's had is reading novels. You have a main character and some side characters, and you've got the master villain plot, and that's it. So maybe that's just all they know, and that's their experience.
Yeah, or they're actually writing their own novel and having the players kind
Play
of fill out their
testing.
roles. Yeah, exactly.
Novel testing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, again, like always, like, just communicate. You need to communicate first. Then there is the, lead by example, and then there is the slightly more passive-aggressive and dickish move of trying to run the campaign into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, or shot callers. You could always do a shot caller. No.
That is absolutely true. Jump down the description below. You're going to find a bunch more suggestions. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can patronize us in a good way over on Patreon.
You can find us over on Instagram.
So until next time.
Stay nerdy.